Assalamu alaikum. In this lesson, I'm gonna discuss the difference between writing and speaking. Many of my students, when they come to me at the beginning of the course, they say, I just write in the same way I speak. I don't even understand the difference or the reason why I should differentiate between the way I write and the way I speak. I'm gonna explain to you why we should do that. When you speak, there are so many tools that help you to convey your message to the person that you're talking to. And these tools do not exist when you write. For example, the first one of these tools is the facial expressions. When you talk to someone and you have a certain feeling that you're trying to convey to this person, you don't really have to say anything. People can look at your face and know how you're feeling just by your facial expressions. So if you're feeling angry or sad or happy or whatever it is, you can just stand silent and people will look at you and know how you feel. Now, when you write to someone, you cannot expect them to know how you feel because they can't see your face. So you have to use the proper words to express your feelings. This is why when we chat to people on the internet or when we use any applications like WhatsApp, misunderstanding can easily happen because people cannot see our faces. And you might find it easier, like if you have something important, you might find it easier to just call this person and come to them and then talk to them face to face, because you feel that writing to them using the internet is not going to help you to communicate the message in a better way. So this goes to prove to you that speaking is a much better way to communicate a message to someone. The other reason or the other difference between speaking and writing is the fact that when we speak to people, the things that we say disappear the moment that we say them. So if I say something to you and then 3 minutes later, I need to say another thing which is based on the first element that I mentioned before, I'm going to repeat the same thing one more time. This is allowed and it's acceptable when you talk to someone. But when you write, you cannot really keep repeating yourself. And it's the responsibility of the person who read the essay to go back. Like, for example, if you say something in the introduction and you're trying to use this information in one of your body paragraphs, you cannot repeat it as it is. You have to build on it. You have to avoid redundancy. So that's why you might allow it to be redundant. When you speak, you might repeat yourself again and again, just like what I'm doing with you right now. I am basically repeating the same sentences to make sure you understand what I'm saying. However, if I write to you, I have to choose my words carefully in every sentence. And I have to eliminate any sentence that might have redundancy. Why? Because you have my essay with you. And if there is something that you don't understand, you can just go back and read it again. But you cannot do that when you're talking to someone in real life. Of course, you can do it when you're watching a video like this one because you can go back and rewind it. But I'm just talking about speaking with someone in real life. There are so many other differences between speaking and writing. And I don't have enough time to talk about all of them in this video because I'm not trying to make it too long. But you can basically understand that you cannot treat writing in the same way you speak. There are differences and you need to take them into consideration if you want to write a good essay. Now, in the remaining part of this video, I'm going to give you some exercises that will help you understand exactly what I'm talking about and what I mean when I say that there's a difference between writing and speaking, and they should make things easier for you. In the next part, I'm going to show you 2 paragraphs. Basically, the 2 paragraphs have the same ideas, but one of them is written in a good way, and the other one is written in the same way someone might talk, someone might speak. I'm going to give you a chance to look at the 2 paragraphs. You can feel free to pause the video if you have to, and then tell me which one is easier for you to understand and more organized, and which one is confusing for you to understand. Take some time, pause the video if you have to, as I said before, and I'm going to discuss with you which one is the better paragraph, and I'm going to explain exactly the reasons that make it a better paragraph. So let's take some time to do that. Okay. Now let's discuss the differences between these two paragraphs together. If you came to the conclusion that the second paragraph is better and more organized than the first paragraph, then you would be right. But now we need to think why. Why is it better? What makes it more organized than the first paragraph? If we read it carefully, we will notice that the first difference is the fact that the sentences in the second paragraph are divided. So you can see that you have a sentence here, traveling has a lot of benefits, and then you have a period. And then first of all, comma, it gives you the chance to meet new interesting people, and then a period. And it goes on like that until the end of the paragraph. But if you look at the first paragraph, you will notice that the whole paragraph from the beginning to the end is just one long sentence without any period. This is completely wrong. It's completely unacceptable. Your reader will not be able to know where your ideas finish and where they start. So it's very confusing for them. So, and now the second difference is related to using some organizational words. I call them some organizational words, or they can also be called linking words, such as first of all, in addition, for example, furthermore, and so on. Now, what is the point of using these words? They make it easy for you to organize your paragraphs. I can give you a very good example. Now, imagine that you're driving your car in the streets of a city. Imagine that the streets of the city don't have any signs. They don't have any signs that tell you the names of the streets, or traffic signs that tell you that there is a speed bump here, or that you need to turn right here or turn left there, and so on. It will be difficult for you to navigate your way around the city. But if you can find traffic signs and street signs, it will be easy for you to know where you have to go. Now, the organizational words are similar to the signs that make it easy for the reader to understand the direction of your thoughts. Now, when you say something like first of all, so the reader knows that this is the first idea, the first benefit that you're going to discuss. And then in addition, so this means that you're going to talk about a different benefit. When you say, for example, so this means that you're going to provide an example, and so on. So it's important for you to make sure that you use these organizational words in addition to using good punctuation in order for the reader to be able to understand your thoughts clearly without any confusion. In the next exercise, we're going to have a chance to practice applying these skills. I'm going to give you a paragraph which is written in a bad way. What you need to do is to take some time to read it, and then you need to rewrite this paragraph, use good punctuation, use some organizational words to make it easier to understand. Okay, now move on to the next paragraph. And as usual, if you need to take more time, you can pause. Okay, now please take some time to look at this paragraph. You will notice, as I said before, that it's written in a bad way. All of it is just one long sentence without any periods, without any commas or any punctuation marks. You will also notice that there are no organizational words. We don't have anything like first of all, furthermore, after that, finally, or anything like that. So it will be a very difficult paragraph to read and organize for anyone. What I want you to do is to make sure that you divide it into sentences, use periods in the right places. If you need to use some commas, you should also do that. Also, you need to try to count the ideas here and use some organizational words to organize these words. So if you find, for example, 3 ideas, maybe you can use words like first, second, and finally. If you find 4 ideas, you can say first, second, third, and finally. Or instead of using these words, you can say first, furthermore, in addition, and so on. Okay, I'll give you some time to read it now. And as I said, if you need more time to read, you can pause the video, and then I'm going to show you how it might be rewritten in a better way. I have to say that there are different ways to rewrite this paragraph. And the chances are you wrote it in a way which is different from mine, but it's okay. So I'm going to explain my approach. And if you have any questions about the way you wrote your paragraph, you can send them to me. So we go like this. One cannot deny that there are some downsides for traveling, and then we have to use a period here. And then this is the first organizational word. The first and most upsetting aspect of being away from your home country is loneliness. And then you have another period. It's certainly a hard feeling when you're taken away from all the people you love, and then a period. And then we use a word like secondly. Secondly, there is the language element, period. If you can't speak the language of the new country, comma, it will be difficult for you to communicate. And then a period. This lack of communication can be frustrating, and then a period. And then you use the word finally. Finally, there is the career issue, period. It might be difficult for some people to find the job that they are good at in a new country. Okay, so this is the end of lesson 1. In this lesson, I tried to explain to you that there's a difference between the way we write and the way we speak. And when you write, you're supposed to take into consideration some of the rules that make it easier for your readers to understand what you're trying to say. For example, use some good punctuation, periods and commas and so on, and then use some organizational words to be able to classify your ideas in a better way. Of course, we're gonna illustrate this part in details throughout the course. This is not the only thing that we're going to discuss regarding the difference between writing and speaking. There will be a lot of exercises which are related to all aspects of punctuation, and a lot of exercises that teach you the different types of organizational words. I hope today's lesson was useful, and I'm gonna see you in lesson 2, inshallah.